What's up, YouTube? Here I'm doing another interview video today, and I'm here with Jamie Dindren. How you doing today, Jamie?
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. So me and Jamie actually met through my YouTube channel. Actually, she's seen my first video, and just reached out to me, and we've been kind of talking. We've been talking about doing this interview for what, 2-3 months now.
Yeah, it has
But I was living in Indiana at the time, and then I finally got work out here, California, Northern California, and I drove all the way down to LA checking out the scene. And I thought I'd drop by and say hi to my good friend Jamie. So, yeah.
Hi, everybody.
So,
Oops. French fry.
yeah, she's trying to start a food fight. Anyways, so on today's topic, we're going to talk about pre-op versus post-op and the stigmas around that. So, what's your thoughts on that, Jamie?
Well, my thoughts on that are, I'm in favor of it. No, I'm just kidding. I am a post-op trans woman, which means for all of you out there that I have had the surgery. And my thoughts on the pre versus the post is that it's a big discussion. It's a very big discussion, and so many girls out there have their own dreams and aspirations and ideas about what it's going to be or what it's going to be like, and then they find out that you're still the same person that you were when you wake up, that you went to sleep as.
Yeah.
Your life isn't going to change miraculously. You're not going to wake up and have $1 million.
It's not a magic wand.
No,
or
it's not
scapula.
a magic wand.
Scalpel.
It's a scalpel.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And it's a decision, for anyone listening, it's a decision that should be taken extremely, extremely seriously. Because if you end up regretting it, it's something you cannot take back, ever.
You can't wave a magic wand or hit that reset button on that decision.
No.
So with that being said, so what do you think is the biggest stigma with the pre versus post on like dating and whatnot? Like, what are your thoughts on that one? That's a big one, I know.
It is a big one. Dating for post-op trans women, our dating pool gets limited and it gets sized down so much because cisgendered straight men think that they're too straight for it, even though it's anatomically correct a female.
Yeah.
Straight cis men, they can't get past it. So a lot of them cannot get past it.
Yeah.
And then there are the trans attracted men. Trans amorous men, love them to death, but they tend to lean towards the pre-ops. So post-ops end up in this limbo land of, yes, you're a woman. We'll let you be a woman to a degree.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we'll let you play that part to a degree.
Feels like a little bit of a dark world.
Yeah, it is. And the dating game is much easier for a pre-op than it is for a post-op. Much easier.
Really? Because, and in certain aspects, I've heard it on the other side of the coin. When I was growing up, as a kid and whatnot, you hear somebody's already had the surgery or whatnot, and they are, quote unquote, passable. I hate that word, but it is what it is. And that, it's fine. It's still like a gray area or whatnot, So I kind of heard it on the other side of the coin, but I could definitely see it where you're talking about now. And then, unfortunately, that based off of what I've seen and heard, that's probably not probably, it is the truth.
Yeah.
And
it's like you and I said before we started this. You say the word trans, and people automatically picture a pre-op.
yeah.
A post-op is not what comes to their mind. An anatomically correct female body is not what they think of when they think of a trans woman.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself starts the problem.
Yeah.
It's not the full scope of it, but it starts the problem.
Yeah. And I think most guys, not all, but most guys tend to think very That very like, binary, like black and white, so to speak. And, a lot of guys will think that if I'm going to date a trans woman, I might as well date somebody who hasn't had the surgery, right? Well, might as well. Why date somebody who is doesn't hurt? Why date somebody who's post-op who technically they can't bear children or anything like that? Because, why? And that sort of thinking, I get it, but I hate that sort of thing because, you when you think that way, you limit yourself.
Yeah.
You're closing door. You're already closing doors for yourself. Because there's so much more than the physical body. Yes, being attracted to somebody with certain features, be it whatever, anatomical or blue eyes, brown eyes, blonde hair, red hair, whatever. It's all, great. It feels great in the moment, but, eventually things fade over time. Looks will eventually leave.
Yeah.
And what are you left with at the end of the day? You're left with the mind and spirituality of the person, that hopefully doesn't get broken down over the years with all this hate and all these limited, boxes that people get put into and all this stuff.
Oh, I've had men get angry that I got rid of it.
Really?
Oh yes, I've had men get angry that I got rid of it. Totally. And
that's stupid.
It is. It is stupid because they're like, well, I don't understand. Why would you do that and ruin yourself? Now you're just another C word.
Oh, wow.
And that the world is full of those. What you were was unique. What you were was special and exotic. And now you're just another woman.
See, I hate when guys make stupid comments. I hope, because the thing is that, gets tied into, what a lot of the girls will say, the fetishizers. And that sounds like a very fetishizing comment to make, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're only cool if you have it, you know what I mean? Like, bro, come on. And, I get it with, there's some guys who are like, when it comes to things in the bedroom, they like it on both sides of the fence. They like, as they used to say, pitcher and the catcher. They're a team player,
Yeah.
But, even that, if somebody decides to get the surgery and they're post-op, that can be worked around too, because there are devices out there,
Toys, people, toys.
Yeah, strap on. There's ways around this. It's just a physical body part, a piece of meat, as they would say. It can be, if it makes your partner much happier, much more at peace with themselves to having converted from one thing to another. If you truly love them, why give them grief over it? Because, it can be, if that's something you're into, you can, of course, talk with your partner. And if they truly love you, they'll be willing to do certain things, just like you're willing to do certain things for them. So why not, if you want to do it, if it brings you peace and happiness in this life, go for it. Do it. Don't be afraid of the stigmas. Because if somebody truly loves you and they're accepting of you doing that and whatnot, what's the problem?
A lot of times they'll say that they're being supportive, and they'll say that they fully support what you're doing, and they might go into it with the best of intentions. But you will find that the majority of those men will turn around and cheat with preops later.
Yeah.
Because they're missing that part of you that you got rid of for your own sanity and your own well-being. They miss that part so much that they go find it elsewhere. And I mentioned to you earlier, I have never in 37 years in the community ever known one woman who had the surgery who kept her man after the surgery. Not one.
Yeah, that kind of depresses me a little bit. To me, I guess I'm a hopeless.
You don't have the same attitude.
Oh, I appreciate that. But, I guess I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Not trying to be a downer here, but yeah, I think I still believe that it's possible if a guy and a trans woman are in love and she gets the surgery. If the guy is truly legit, I'll say if he's not a punk, I think he will stand by her through that, that time, and be with her afterwards. Come on, love. If it's really love, it should,
I don't know. Somebody put the question to me, how would I feel if the man that I was drawn to had a vagina? And I have to be honest, I don't know that I could date someone with a vagina. And there are many trans men that I think are really good-looking men.
Yeah.
I mean, very good-looking men. And I even dated a post-op trans man briefly when I was 18. Didn't last that long because he didn't tell me the truth. And I had to find out by noticing scars when lights were on. You know, and when I noticed certain scars when the lights were on, for me, the lack of not disclosing it to me and giving me the opportunity to make that choice was what ended it for me. But in that situation, he was post-op. I could see with a trans man for myself.
Yeah.
But even I would have a problem with a pre-op trans man. And that's hypocritical. It's hypocritical of me.
Yeah. I guess it all comes down to just conversation, the art of conversation about, you know, when a woman dates a man or a man dates a woman, that it should be in the beginning of the relationship, it should be talked about this is my plan, A, B, C, D. I'd like to achieve this by this such a date, this by that, so on and so forth. And, you know, people need to start practice. Stop being into their phone so much, looking at Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and all this stuff, and start doing more, you know, deeper thinking within yourself. You know, like put on like a nice relaxing song and just think. You know, just go for a walk and think what it is I want. And I'm not just talking about just dating in general. Anything in life, just be a deep thinker. And you know, if you have somebody in your life, speaking to the guys, if you have a woman in your life that is trans, and you know you're on the fence about it, and just go out for a walk, man. Like just think about it, reflect on yourself deeply, and honestly analyze yourself. Don't put yourself in the best light. Don't put yourself in the worst light. Put yourself in an honest light and an honest thought process, and think on this. And think, can I do it? And just, hell, even go into detail. Imagine your woman now with what she's got to what she's gonna have afterwards, and honestly think, is that acceptable to you? And if it's not, you know, it may not be storybook, it may not be Disney, but tell her, like, listen, I'm sorry, and to be honest with it, it's better to have the heartache happen if y'all been dating for only a year and she's made this decision, she's going to do this, versus, you know, because it's very expensive surgery. It's going to take her a few years, unless she has bomb insurance or whatnot, which California, there's really good insurance plans. Yeah, so, but normally it takes a woman many years to get to that point of getting that done. So you don't want to hang around now, you know, enjoying the ride, so to speak, and then when it's time for her to do what she wants to do, she's talked about it for years, you bail out on her, man, like that's not cool.
Yeah.
You know? And I honestly think, too, I don't think a guy, if he's attracted to the trans woman who still has the original plumbing, I don't think that makes you a fetishizer, so to speak, you know?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean...
Makes you honest. What makes you a fetishizer is if you just treat her as an object and for, you know, sexual favors or fun or any, you know,
or if you're just focused on genitals. If that's your sole focus is genitals, you're already setting yourself up for failure.
And you're stupid,
right there.
sorry.
And you're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Go if you just love dick or whatever, go buy you a toy, just marry that, you know, if that's all you're focused on. Yeah. Come on, I mean,
they make some really realistic ones.
And they can do other things that the human one can't, you know.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you're something of an expert of these toys, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
I have my own collection.
Nothing wrong with that. Do you collect your toys or whatnot? Rock and roll.
Pink Kitty in Santa Ana.
What is it? I'm afraid to ask that. Is that like a bar?
Pink Kitty is it's a store that I go to.
That's
the toy store.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, cool. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. So yeah, I mean, I thought you'd be a good candidate to talk about this because I feel like you have a unique perspective on this because of, you know, you were a pre-op person before, and now you're a post-op person. So you've seen it on both sides of the fence here, and you've seen it come and go. And like you said, in your 30-something years of in transition, you know. You've seen it time and time again, and it fail, and it's unfortunate, like, because a lot of these relationship failures can be avoided by a simple conversation, honest,
in the beginning,
analytical, honest, non-judgmental conversation. Like, you know, we got to get over these stigmas, not just from the outside being hitting us from the outside, but we also got to think about the stigmas within the community of dating. Yeah. Whatever your thing is to date, you know, whether you're a trans woman who's lesbian or straight trans woman, we have to get rid of all stigmas, honest conversations, non-judgmental. You should be able to go to your significant other that if they're new in your life, 6 months, a year in, and you all have this conversation, and the guy's like, I'm sorry, I gotta have somebody who's pre-op, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, that honesty goes a long way, because pretending like, oh, it's all going to be fine. No, we'll be good. I love you that much. Saying those words is one thing. Following through on them is quite another. And a lot of times, guys go into it with the best of intentions.
But they don't think critically. They don't think deeply. They don't think honestly, brutally honest on themselves.
Yeah.
Whether or not they could do that.
You're right.
And you're still trying to start a food fight.
I know.
Right? But that's problems.
I know.
Flip some salad at you. But no. But yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
You know, I agree with you what you say about the conversations. Have these conversations as soon as possible. If you know that you really, really like someone and you're sitting across from them and you have the opportunity, then tell them, look, boy, someday I really dream of, you know?
ABC.
That's up to the girl too, because a lot of times you girls out there that are listening, and I know y'all watch him because he's cute and young and all that. Y'all girls that are listening, you've got to be more honest too, because letting a guy think that you're cool with throwing his legs up in the air all the time and that's all you want out of life, you're setting yourself up for that hurt when you do want the surgery. If you know later on you want the surgery, but you're just having fun with what you have at the time, then say that. Say, listen, I'm enjoying this part of my body right now, but I intend to get rid of it.
It is limited.
It's for a limited time only, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why it just popped in my head. You know, in stores, limited time only.
Yeah, exactly. Special edition.
But yeah. All right, well, another thing I will say, and I gotta say, you know, because I hope it's romantic of me, like, you know, if you're, like I said before, you know, if you're a guy like me and you gotta think critically and deeply on whether or not you can be with somebody pre-op, post-op, non-op, whatever their situation can be, you know, then be honest about it. But if you truly do love society, to believe on the other side of the coin that if a guy is into somebody who is pre-op, but if he falls in love with somebody who is going to have the surgery, I still believe that could be worked around too. Now, I know you said you've never seen it happen, but I believe that there is a guy out there who could do that.
Oh, I'm sure.
So at the same time, when I say for you guys, think honestly on both sides of the coin. Don't just think, oh, she's going to have it done. Yeah, no, I can't do it. You know, because you can also think too, like, could I? And think you got to go into the deepest depths of your mind, because this is somebody you're going to lock in with for the rest of your life. And you don't want to be locked into something that could make her miserable and you at the same time.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, anything else you want to say in closing? 'Cause we're coming up on 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool. Well, coming to you from Long Beach, California. Pretty cool. Never thought I'd end up here. Oh, yeah. All right. Peace out. Y'all have a good one.